Hello everybody, happy Monday and happy Halloween season. Today I wanted to show you guys how you can make your own fleece pumpkin house for your guinea pigs. Stay tuned. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the little bell so you'll know when the next video is available, especially if you're a fan of Halloween. We have a few more Halloween videos coming out, and I definitely want to show you guys those. Let's go ahead and get into it. There are a few basic supplies that you're going to need for your pumpkin fleece house. Measure and cut an 11-inch diameter circle on the material. You will need 2 orange, 2 yellow, 2 U-Haul, and 1 batting. 1 orange, 1 yellow, and the 2 U-Haul will be used for a potty pad. For the walls, you're going to make a shape similar to this. This is a rounded triangle that is 8 inches wide and 11 inches tall. For the walls, you will need 4 orange, 4 yellow, and 4 batting. These are all of the supplies that you will need for your pumpkin house. Layer material by placing orange then yellow with the fluffy sides facing each other. Place batting on top and pin together. Once pinned, you are going to sew these pieces together just by following close to the edge. Make sure that when you are sewing, you will have to leave at least a 2-inch opening so you're able to turn these inside out. Using the opening, you're going to flip it out so the orange and yellow are on the outside and the batting is in the center. Make sure to flatten out the edges so it's a nice circle shape. Now you need to close up the opening, so you can either hand stitch or use the sewing machine, whichever you prefer. I prefer using the sewing machine, I just feel it's much easier. This is going to be the bottom of your pumpkin house. Using the same method as before, you're going to pin the yellow and orange fleece together with the batting on top for the walls of the house. Keep in mind, this next step is only for 3 of the walls. Similar to the circle, sew along the edge of the batting, attaching all of the materials together. Be sure to leave that 2-inch opening just as you did before with the circle. Now flip the material inside out so orange and yellow fleece are on the outside, and again go ahead and stitch that opening closed. You will have 3 walls just like this. For the last wall, layer the orange and yellow fleece as before and the batting on top. Pin this one together just on the edges. Now you're going to find a round object large enough for your guinea pigs to fit through. Go ahead and trace that circle onto the center of the wall. You are now going to sew along the circle that you just drew. You want to completely sew it together. There is no need to leave any type of opening. Follow the line as closely as possible. Now that it is sewn together, you're going to cut out the inside of the circle and cut as close to the stitch as you possibly can. This is going to be the opening. This part's a little confusing, but you're going to grab whatever the outer fleece is that you have, in my case it was yellow, and pull it through the center. Line it up as best as you can along the other edges of the material. and be sure to pin very tightly on the edges. You are now going to sew along the circle again, but this time it will be holding all of the materials together in the way that you need them. Once the circle is sewn together, you can now sew the edges together. Again, go as closely as you possibly can. If a little bit of the batting pokes out, it's not an issue at all. You can either leave it as is, or if you'd like, you can trim it off. The important thing is just to sew all of the sides together for the wall. Now to attach the walls to the bottom of the pumpkin. It doesn't matter which side of the wall that you start with first, but you're going to sew it to where the orange sides touch and you're sewing on the yellow. This will be so the seams stay on the inside of the pumpkin once it is complete. So do your best to sew along the round edge using the flat. It will try to be as circular as possible. You may need to readjust while sewing. And repeat this with all of the walls. All 4 will take up the entire bottom. Now that you have all of the walls attached, you need to attach them to each other. For this, you just flip up the walls and sew along the seam of where they touch each other. You're going to do the same thing as before, keeping the orange on the inside and sewing along the yellow on the outside. Once complete, this is what it will look like. If there were any holes left behind, you can always hand stitch those closed, especially because it is pretty thick material and you don't want to break your sewing needle. Now we have most of a pumpkin, but something is missing. For the stem, you will just need a thin strip of brown fleece, and the green fleece is optional for the leaf. You're going to roll up the brown fleece until you feel you have enough for the stem. Now you're going to hand stitch this together to keep the stem attached to itself. Once the stem is complete, you're going to attach it to the top of the pumpkin. Hand stitch this very well to the inside of the pumpkin. Once finished, you have a pumpkin. If you are going to make the leaf, go ahead and trace and cut out the shape of a leaf as best as you can. For texture, we are going to sew veins on the leaf by sewing from the stem to each of the points on the leaf. Again, this is optional. You are now going to hand stitch the leaf onto the pumpkin. Same as before, make sure to sew it very well so it does not come off during the washing machine cycle. And now you have the cutest pumpkin house for your guinea pigs or other small pets. And that's how you can make a pumpkin fleece house of your very own. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. And if you still haven't, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the little bell so you'll know when the next video is available. Especially during this Halloween season, I have a few more fun videos planned out, so definitely keep an eye out for those. I post new videos every Monday morning, including educational, how-tos, and fun little tidbits, as well as a vlog on Wednesdays with updates of my piggies' lives. If you have any questions or future video suggestions, be sure to leave those in the comments down below. Also, if you guys end up making a pumpkin fleece house of your very own, share it to me. I'm going to go ahead and leave my Instagram right here. You can also find a link to that in the description box below. I would love to see your guys' take on it. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope you all have a safe and a lovely day and a fun Halloween season. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.